Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell, man. It would definitely help me out, and I really appreciate all the outlaws out there supporting the channel. But I want to talk about this. Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas went at it again.
Nigga, you gay.
Yeah, so I checked this video out again and again and again and again. So they were at it, man. It was very entertaining. I loved it. I loved the conversation. But there was one particular part where they were talking about should Kwame Brown be able to critique the NBA players. And I'm going to play a quick video on it, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents on it. Check this out.
I want to go back to this whole thing that you kept saying that I try to bash people, because I have a sports channel. So I want to know, how can I conduct my sports channel where I talk about the way the guys are playing the game? Because you're media trained. This is what you said. So I want to know from you, the media trained guy, how do I talk on my sports channel about what guys are doing on the floor and what they're not doing without bashing them?
What can you do on your show basically without contradicting yourself?
That's not what I said, sir.
No, that's technically basically what it is.
That's not technically basically what it is. I asked you,
that's what it is.
A direct question.
You have to be able to talk on your show without contradicting yourself.
What's the contradiction when I'm saying that I was taught not to read a stat sheet on the bench? How is that a contradiction?
No, just everything you've done to other athletes, other black men, other basketball players.
Do you know the definition of contradiction, sir? A contradiction would be that I would say it's wrong for LeBron James to read a stat sheet on the bench, and then you could catch me doing the same thing. That would be a contradiction.
Yes.
I'm saying that I was taught not to do that, so I'm not contradicting myself, sir.
Okay, so the contradiction.
What is the contradiction?
I'm upset that these guys attacked me when I was playing basketball for no reason.
That's not what I said,
the contradiction is Kwame going on his sports show attacking black men who did not do anything to him for no reason.
So back to the original question. How do I talk about what players are doing on and off the court that 290 from a basketball standpoint? If you're at the center position, you're supposed to tell a guy, hey, pick left, and hey, 2-9. How do I say that on a sports channel without contradiction and without bashing them, sir?
You can't.
What?
You can't.
I can't.
No. You can't. Your whole startup was a victim.
So basically what you're saying, okay, good news. So what you're saying is I'm the wrong person. So I'll have my friend Tiki do it then. I'll have Tiki get on my sports channel and say, hey, LeBron James didn't 2-9. Is that okay then?
Yes.
So I'm the wrong guy to do it.
Yes, right now, yes.
Well, tough titty said the kitty, but the milk's still good. Because, motherfucker, I played 10 years in the league and ain't nowhere in the hell at the center position. I played over 10 years in the league. I know the center position. I played 3-4 position. Hell, I could play your position, Nick, because I'll distribute the ball, not shoot it every goddamn time. And I'm telling you right now, it's not bashing anyone to say, hey, your job as this position is to 2-9 and to be here. That's not bashing anybody, my brother. Bashing somebody is to call them a bust. I never heard you speak out against Skip Bayless calling our brother Bosh Spice. That's bashing. Why don't you go over there, since you say that I love white people? Why don't you? Because I told Stephen A. he looks like Skip Bayless. I said he's a Dracula-faced bitch. So why don't you go tell Skip Bayless that not only he can't talk about basketball because his bitch ass can't play it, Stephen A. can't talk about basketball because his bitch ass can't play it. They got fucking football players talking about basketball. And you want to tell me as a basketball player that I can't talk about basketball because somebody talked bad about me? No, that gives me the right to talk about it. I'm going to do it in a way where I'm not going to bash the players, but I'm going to talk about the game. The game is the game, brother. You must 2-9, sir. You laughing?
Listen, I get you trying to use this.
You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do, Gilbert? And I thank you so much. I'm gonna have a panel of coaches on my sports channel, and we're gonna have these coaches talking about 2-9 and the job of different.
You keep using 2-9 like 2-9 is a little thing, but you bash.
You keep saying it's bashing.
You bash NBA players like you were being bashed. It's still
that is not true. You can't give me. You can't show any. Do you understand what they were doing to get ratings at First Take? They would have an entire episode. We can go look it up. Mm-hmm. They would have an entire episode where one player is getting drafted, and then they would bring me up. I have nothing to do with it. It's not basketball. It's not my day. I'm not being drafted. They're not going X's and O's, but they're talking about me. What I'm doing is, hold on, sir. I'm not talking about basketball with Dwayne Wade. Stop deflecting, sir. LeBron James is a current NBA player that we can watch film that I'm talking exactly about the game. I'm not bringing up some roast and making people laugh and calling them a bust. I'm not doing the Shaq and the fool. I'm not doing none of that. I'm saying LeBron James' job as the center is to 2-9. You can't tell me that's bashing, my brother.
The player who was sitting on the bench.
That is not bashing, my brother. You have a problem. Listen, the moral of the story. The moral of the story is listen. The moral of the story is you. Listen. We don't got to overtalk. Hold on, we don't got to overtalk. The moral of the story is you feel like I'm a bust and I don't qualify to talk about LeBron James. I just disagree with you. That's it.
I didn't say you was, but I said you're contradicting yourself because
I don't feel that way, sir.
The same thing you're doing when people were nitpicking at you and your game and questioning your game, questioning who you were, how intelligent you were in the court.
How am I questioning his game? Do you know how stupid you sound? Do you know how stupid you sound? I'm not questioning his game. Quit telling me I'm questioning his game because he didn't. Let me say this as a disclaimer. LeBron James is going to go down in history as one of the best players who ever played the game. That still doesn't negate the fact that his ass didn't 2-9 in the paint on defense. What are you talking about?
We're talking about the post that I commented on when you was talking about Kobe would have never done that. When you compare,
I played with Kobe. I know that for a fact. I'm not bashing nobody. So okay, everybody compares LeBron to Kobe, LeBron to MJ. Why don't you argue with them? The whole fucking media is comparing LeBron to MJ and if he's the GOAT or not. You ain't arguing with them one fucking time.
Because you the one who's complaining about
I'm not complaining about shit. You're complaining about my shit.
Let's try it a different way.
You making yourself look slow, just like I do.
If you're a rape victim, you cannot rape.
Sir, I will go up here and say once again, I am not a victim, sir. You keep saying that. I said I'm not a victim. So make a point of not using that. When did you show me the tape that I said I was a victim?
Well, here's the thing. I agree with Kwame Brown in the sense of he knows basketball. Forget about the stats. Forget about all that. This brother been playing basketball since he was a kid. He got different training. He was in, I believe he was at McDonald's All-American. You know how hard it is to make the McDonald's All-American game? You had 10 to 12 years experience. You played on different teams. You had different coaches. And so he is qualified to do that. You can't sit there and say, since his numbers is not as big as what his should be, is a first round draft pick. You know, that changes the franchise. How many first round draft picks actually change the franchise anyway? So we can say everybody couldn't cut it. At least 50%. I want to say 50% of I don't know the numbers, but you can't say that. You don't know. His body might have gave out early. Like, what about Grant Hill? What about Penny Hardaway? You trying to say since they didn't live up to their standards, Penny Hardaway was a number 1 draft pick, and he didn't live up to his standards because of injury, that he couldn't talk about the game? that's blasphemy. Sometimes your body don't give out. Sometimes your brain don't say what the body is doing. And this is what I don't like about these athletes, these prima donna athletes who think about self all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, I am a fan of Gilbert Arenas. I love to watch him play. He was a great shooter. He had the confidence. You know, he dropped 60 on Kobe. He was a really, really, really good player who could have been in the Hall of Fame if he didn't get hurt. But he got hurt. So that's my thing. He's able to talk about sports. And for people to sit there and say, you know, you're hating on him, this is what I say about that. You can talk about somebody's basketball game or football game or hockey game because we are fans. We pay for your lifestyle. And I always say this. It's the same way as like if you went to a restaurant, you're not a chef, but you can talk about the food that you eat because you pay for it, that you're supporting it. You're allowed to do that. That's what sports is. Why do you think the owners allow the media to come in? Because they pay for the media. Because the media, good or bad, it's like they promote the business so everybody can watch. Can you imagine if the media was not involved with sports? You wouldn't watch it. It's like the CBA or something. The media keeps all this in our face. And it's like a soap opera. Why do you think soap opera has been on for 40 years? Because they got the media talking about it. They got the Reader's Digest and all that stuff. It's a thing. So everybody is qualified to talk about him, man. Good or bad. You know, think about this. Like, no one's talking about Dominique Wilkins, right? Because nobody cares about him, but he was a great player. But if people were talking about him like they were talking about Michael Jordan and Olajuwon and all them other players in the past, I'm pretty sure he would want somebody to talk about him right now. And like I said, Kwame got a chance to play with Phil Jackson. You mean to tell me if he played with Phil? I think Phil Jackson was the coach there, but either way, he had Doug Collins. He had great coaches coach him. So you mean to tell me he can't tell you what's going on defense? His position that he played 3, 4, and 5, just because he wasn't a good scorer. And who knows? I'm not even saying he's not a good scorer. They didn't ask him to score. When Michael was playing, they said give the ball to Mike and get out the way. Ain't that what Doug Collins said? When you and the Lakers, what did they say? Give it to the one player, Kobe Bryant, and get out the way. So think about that. You do that for years. You're not asked to do that. Dennis Rodman used to score. He was scoring 26 points a game, and when he got to the Pistons, he was not asked to do that, and he played for them till 2004. Till 1994. Then he went to the Spurs and then the Bulls, and they never asked him to score. He was that good of a player where he could have changed the way he played. You understand? So I'm with Kwame. He's allowed to speak sports just like everybody else is. You know, Gilbert Arenas is just trying to protect the players he likes because he likes those players. He's friends with them. You know, he's friends with Steven Jackson. He's friends with Matt Barnes. He's the goofy dude from the Valley. And, you know, people look at certain things like, why are you talking about these guys? But like I never heard Kwame Brown talk about anybody who haven't talked about him. I never heard it. I mean, maybe you can let me know, but I never heard him talk about anybody else other than the people who talked about him. So all this is not our beef. We're just watching. We're just spectating. And shout out to him for allowing us to eat off it, man. So that's all I got to say about it. What you think about Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas? You know, their exchange. And oh, by the way, before y'all say what you have to say, you got to understand that they're friends. Well, maybe not friends, but they're cool. And this is all for clickbait. And, you know, I just appreciate what they're doing. You know, they're giving us something to talk about. And again, LeBron's not mad that we're talking about him because he's making a lot of money now. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to leave that there. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you on the next video.